Nash, and this is becoming a YouTube series that will have me talking to some of my closest friends and some funny people, musical people, all kinds of people. I love to talk and about important things and funny things as well. So please come along on this journey and let's do some weird stuff. I'm sitting here with my friend Suzy Bogguss. Hello again.
And hello, Leigh Nash. I love you so much.
I love you too. We were just talking about kind of the hustle that you have. I really have so much respect for that. It's not something innate in me. But I women like you are very inspiring to me. So yeah, you've done. We've been talking about it. Like it's kind of been from the get go, the hustle and it's amazing. And then we were talking about the pandemic and maybe some things that seemed natural for you to do.
Yeah, I've always been kind of I like to dream up stuff. I always since I was a kid, but I also am kind of independent, and I like having control over my stuff. I don't know. At a certain point, I kind of decided that the really big role with the arena tours and that kind of thing, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't feel like I was being myself. And when I pulled back and started, figuring out the things that I do that I feel like I'm confident in, then those were the things that I felt like were really well received by people.
Yeah.
And so, I made an album in 2011. I did this record that's all folk music, and, it's all PD. So it's, a situation where I can really control it all.
That's great.
It helps me, like if I if I hear that somebody might want a song for a movie or something like that, then right. I don't have to ask anybody. There's no publisher besides my husband and myself. And
really smart.
So there are things like that where I like the feeling of just sort of not being overwhelmed, and I am really like kind of a control freak when it comes to my schedule.
Yeah.
I can pretty much tell you where I've been for the last 3 years. Well, not just these 3
right.
years, because that doesn't count.
Before that.
But I used to be able to like tell you I played this place, I wore this outfit. I like things like that. I have a really goofy memory for that kind of stuff.
That's amazing.
So I don't know. I just like it's just one of my little ticky things is that I am kind of possessive about things.
Right.
But that can make me kind of be a little bit too precious about recording. How are you with that,
I'm the opposite of everything you just said.
Really?
I'm just
maybe that's why we love each other
so
much.
Slipshod. Well, I probably would frustrate you, like if we were to be. I mean, maybe not. I mean, we could try it. But if we were to be on the road together or something, I think you would be shocked, like how disorganized I can be. Like, I don't know what I wore yesterday. I'm not sure what I was doing earlier today. I'm just really, I live in my heart. And that's, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I could employ the use of the old, brain a little more often. And I do. I'm not.
You're doing it your style.
Sure.
And
it's me.
That's right, because it's you. And it is something that I admire about you.
Thank you.
Because when you sing, like I have moments when I sing where I'm just lost and I'm just having a blast and I'm just soaring and it's just so fun. I feel like every time you open your mouth to sing a line, it's just joy. Even if you're singing something really tender or really even a sad song, it just feels like you're not going to get in the way of what is coming out of you. And I have a tendency to try to get so precious about it that I'm actually editing myself as I'm performing, especially when I'm making a record.
Yeah.
And I have to I really have to watch that about myself, is that I don't want to stop myself before I even take myself as far as I want to go.
Right. And then you, at some point, have a marriage, a wonderful marriage, and a child.
Okay.
If you want to
So
talk
do you want
about
me to
that.
just like sort of round it in there? So I was singing demos in the studios around town for songwriters who had, just really didn't sing that much,
Right.
or they wanted to
Have a female.
that was like
Amazing
them.
female.
They were going to pitch their song to Reba McEntire or whoever, you know.
Right.
So I was doing that, and then my husband was the engineer at RCA.
Okay.
And so I met him there, and he kept coming around to Tony Roma's like late at night when I was done, which
He
was
did?
2 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa,
I didn't get up
Doug.
till 2. So that was kind of when he was finished up with the studio. So
So sweet.
he would just sit there and talk to me, and I had a boyfriend at the time, but I thought, this guy wants to produce me.
Oh.
And then I went, oh, but not that way. So we did produce.
Right.
But that was not for 8 years later.
Oh,
But
I
we-
get it.
we started dating.
I've never used it that way.
I don't know
And
if
I will
have
never
either.
not now. I will never not say that.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry. Proceed. So he
So-
did produce music for, and you said
Eventually, yes.
for 8 years.
No, here's what happened.
Okay.
It's like he was coming to the studio all the time, and then I got a job at Dollywood, the opening season at Dollywood.
Okay.
So he told me that his grandparents had a condo down there, and we could go down there and ski for a day, and then we could go look for a place because he would take me around. And that was the end of it. 2 months later, we were engaged.
That's amazing.
And 36 years later, we're still married.
36 years.
So yeah. So really, seriously, he produced me.
Yeah, and then you produced
But
together.
we didn't have a child for 8.5 years.
8.5 years. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just busy. He was
Yeah.
writing songs and working still at RCA. And then I was signed while I was at Dollywood. So
Okay.
Capitol signed me while I was at Dollywood. I started
Wow.
doing some singles, and that's how all that kind of came together.
Were you reticent about becoming a mother, or was it something that you couldn't wait to do, or just it happened?
It was. I
When it
knew I
was-
was ready.
Okay.
When I was ready, I was ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was another one of those like first time.
Yeah, me too. We both had boys, and we both just have
That's right.
one, right? Yep. Mine just went to college,
I
and
know.
it had me obviously thinking a lot about. I mean, I was devastated. I've not felt. I felt like my body was gonna break,
It's
and
so hard.
but I'm getting better. Like I'm starting to get a little bit more sane. But for the first few weeks or even months after, I was literally telling people like, "You're not meeting the real me." I don't know who this is right
I
now,
was
but
like
she's
that
nuts.
too.
Really,
I totally was like
it
that.
really took
Yeah.
me down several notches. But
It was
I'm
really
getting
hard.
used to it.
Would it make you feel any better if I told you that my son's now living in my house again?
Yeah, it actually does. It does make me feel better. 'Cause I feel like there's
people
hope.
told me that for years that they'll be back.
They'll be
and
back. I know.
kinda
Everybody
joked.
says they'll be back.
Yeah, and the truth is they often are.
Often do.
And in this day and age, it's pretty common because it's hard for them to find their place right now.
Right.
It's really kind of a weird.
It is. It's a weird time to be that age, and I'm guessing late 20s.
Yeah, he's
kinda,
in mid-20s, yeah.
But I haven't even been able to listen to "Letting Go," your song, and like I haven't been able to listen to it till today. And I didn't. I was shocked at how much worse it was.
Oh,
Than I remembered. I was like, I can handle this. I need to handle this. And so I put it on. I was like, I don't know how. So now I want to ask you, did you write that authentically from that experience, or
I didn't write it.
okay,
Doug
I
wrote
didn't
it.
know. I should have known that.
That's
But
all
did
right.
he write it authentically from that experience?
He used part of my life and part of his life.
Okay.
So part of the like my little house that I grew up in, everything was in the attic. That's how the whole first line came out was, they had to get a lamp to go
Right.
to school with
Gonna
and
need
that kind of thing.
Light to study by.
And so, but the weird thing for me was that I sang the song and had the hit before I had a child. Sang it from that point. So I was the girl flying away to start my new life, you know, moving to Nashville and, you know, like you said, you know, big bright eyes, everything's so beautiful and new and exciting. And then when my son was getting ready to go to school, I had to sing that song every night.
I can't imagine
And
how
it
you did it.
completely shifted gears.
Yeah.
To where finally my bass player said, "Do we have to do that song? Because clearly it upset you."
So you would you'd start
I just
crying.
I lost my.
There's no way I
I
could do it.
lost it every single night.
Girl or boy, I was singing this morning. Well, it won't be so bad because it's a girl. Yes, it was. It was
doesn't
horrible.
matter.
Yeah.
I mean, I get comments from dads.
Yeah.
And that they were driving their daughter to college or whatever, and it's so beautiful to know that a song like that can, you know, move people to where they remember it forever. And they, you know, there are people who actually, you know, like they kind of have, you know, an anniversary of when that a song meant so much. And, you know, like a daughter will send a cassette tape or that kind of thing. That I've heard these great stories. And up in Chicago, there's a talk radio show, and these two gals, every year they do a whole show based around that song when kids are getting ready to go to college.
How sweet.
And oftentimes they will send me, you know, a link or whatever so I can hear it, and it tears me up every time.
I bet.
Because even though now my son's graduated from college and, you know, he's struck out on his own, lived out in Portland for a while, you know, I was so worried about him during that lockdown time that I just flat out just asked him, "Will you please come home?" You know, and, you know, now he's, you know, based out of our home, you know, doing freelance work.
There's something about a mom and a son, and especially, I don't know, maybe it's more exaggerated in different relationships, but yeah, we're just really close. I mean, I'm sure he would be sitting right there going, "No, we're not that close." Yeah. But I am very close to him. Like I didn't realize what a grounding presence he is in the home and in my life. And so I'm getting used to it, and it's exciting. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed Becoming today, and I hope that you'll join again. Please hit like, love, subscribe, whatever you can do so that you'll get, and also turn on your notifications so that when I have a new episode, you'll be alerted, and trust me, they'll be worth it. I've got some really fun, funny, weird plans.